Maybe we want to talk a little more about Cumrick, your years up there with Dan.
Oh, I loved it there too. I loved looking after the sheep, cattle, and milking the cows, and I used to churn the milk and make big pints of butter, and I would send James down the half of the butter.
Would you?
Yes, they would have that much butter on the churning.
Wow.
And then Dan was looking after the sheep, and I was too helping them.
They were happy years for you,
They
weren't
were happy years, the happiest years I ever. I was sorry leaving it too, but on my own I couldn't manage. It would be long.
Yeah. You had a lot of sheep in
He had
Cumrick.
a lot of sheep. He had a government bull, department bull.
Bull.
Bull, yes.
And what did that mean, Madge?
Well, that, people would come with cows that wasn't heat,
Okay.
and they would charge 10 shillings, I think, for every cow.
There would be service by the bull,
Yes,
yeah.
it was 4 years in it when the bull was in it. And then he sold the bull when he was getting too old. He didn't get any more. But I was 4 years there when he had the bull. And he had it long before I went there. It was only his mother was there. And so I had a good time.
Was his bull a special breed?
Yes,
that people...
especially Pole Angus. Pole Angus bull.
And that's why people wanted to bring their cows there and have...
Yes. Oh, just they had to do with whatever the bull was about. They wouldn't mind,
Yeah.
They had to do with whatever one was about. Was near them.
And then you saw that the bull, they did away with the bull, and then they went to
Yes, they took away with that.
AI, was it they called it?
I suppose.
Artificial insemination that they...
No. Oh, we had that. He had that for the cows too, in my time.
Yeah.
Oh, he had surely. That was a new thing.
I remember they used to come...
The white bull, they called
The white bull. Why did they call it the white bull?
it. Yeah, that's right.
Why did they call it the white bull, Madge?
Well, I don't know now why they called it that.
Yeah, I remember it because they used to drive a little white car, the man that went around with the artificial insemination.
Oh, yes.
He drove this white Volkswagen.
Oh, yes. Oh, well, I don't think.
Remember that, John?
Yeah.
I don't know whether that was him.
That was later,
I don't know.
How did you and Dan meet, Madge?
Uh,
You way down here and him up there? When you first met?
It was a matchmaker.
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 And how did that work?
I was in Glenties working in Danny Ward's, and on my way back on the bus I got out and Peter McGlynn said, would you like to go with Dan McGlynn from Cumrick? I said I wouldn't mind, I would like. And John Boyle at the mill side too was on the thing. He asked me too, but so that's the way that
That's the way it worked.
Yes, that's the way it worked.
And then you and Dan met, did you?
We and then met, then he came down here one day and I've seen him. And that's the way we met.
And how soon after that did you get married?
I got married a few weeks after that.
Did you? Yeah.
After Easter Monday, I think I got married.
Yeah. And tell me about your wedding. Who was there and all at your wedding?
Nellie McGee was my bridesmaid, and John McDevitt a school teacher in Cumrick was Dan's best man, and we had the reception in Brendan Ward's bar in Finkel.
Oh, did you?
Yes, we had a meal in it, and we came back home. And then that we finished up here till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
You had a group in the house?
We had a party in the house too.
Ah, isn't that nice? What year was that, Madge?
1955. 1955, the 12th of the April of 1955.
And then that was the. Then you moved to Cumrick.
Yeah. And I went to Cumrick on the 13th. I was married on the 12th. And next day, well, it was 13th at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Next day I went to Cumrick, 13th of April. So and I remember it was raining a wee thing, you know, that misty rain. And a friend of Dan's was with him too, Joe McGlynn. He was a very good friend of his. Joe Huey, they used to call him, but he died. He died. Oh, Dan was dead before him.
Tell me, what kind of man was Dan McGlynn?
Eh?
What kind of man was Dan McGlynn?
He was a very nice man.
He was quiet, wasn't he?
Quiet and yes, kind of simple living.
Right. And his mother was there when you first went there, right?
Yes, his mother was there when I first went. And his sister stayed in with the mother the day he then got married, and her sister went home the next day. And then his mother died in her sleep.
Long after you got there?
Ah, yes, it's, before we moved into the new house, she died in the old house.
Okay.
We lived in the old house a long time.
Did you?
And then he got a new house built. And she didn't live to go on to the new house. She died February 1957. Yes, February 1957.
So that was 2 years after you were married?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, 2 years after married. And her sister over in Minatawi died. Ellen Kwan. They were Kwans, her maiden name was Kwan. And she died, and she was her nearest sister. She was more, you know, attached to her than any other sister, Ellen Tomoney. And she died, and the next day, she was dead. But she was dead in her bed. They were saying it was the shock that killed her. I remember there was a little room in from the kitchen, and I used to always take in her cup of tea and pieces of bread, toast or something, every morning. And this morning I went in, and there were no motion. She used to get up for her tea, and then she was dead.
And you found her?
I found her dead, yeah.
Very much like when James died, huh?
Yes.
That must have been an awful shock, huh?
That was an awful shock.
Yeah.